Hey everybody, Liz here. How are you doing? I hope you're fine today. I am. Today we're going to talk a little bit about shadow work, how to do it if you're willing. If you don't feel like putting a lance into that boil of emotional or mental pain, then feel free to click somewhere else. But if you're interested in doing some shadow work, I'm going to offer you today some simple helps to do it. It's very good to do. So, what is shadow work? Shadow, or sometimes we call them inner children, sometimes we call them dissociated personality parts. Some psychologists call them aspects. They're parts of you that flee or run away or hide deep in your subconscious when there's a pain or a trauma or an unpleasant event. And trauma depends on the person and the person's neurobiology. So what's very light to somebody might be really tragic to somebody else. So trauma is individual dependent, and there's different types of trauma for another video. But if you've had something happen, a bad event, a bad breakup, a thing, a money thing, a kid thing, a parent thing, some challenge in life or some problem or trauma or painful event or memory, a lot of times that sits down deep, but it gets triggered. So it sits down deep. I'll call them the parts for now, the inner children, the shadow work. Those parts go deep into the subconscious and they're like, I'm out, I'm not playing, this hurt back in the day. And those parts actually think that you're still 5 years old or 12 years old or whenever the event happened. And they go, I'm out, I'm going to go play over here with my little clique of buds over here. They're going to be nice to me and leave me alone and not hurt. And we don't consider those parts to be hurt or damaged. In fact, they leave when they're quite whole and happy. They're just like, I'm not playing. You're no fun. This hurts. I'm out. So another way to think about the shadow is the Johari window. So psychologists talk about that. There's 4 quadrants to the Johari window. There's the open quadrant where what you know about yourself is also known by others. Then there's the blind spot, which is what you don't know is seen by others, like a family mannerism that you don't know that you eat like your mom. And someone goes, you eat like your mom. You're like, what? I don't eat like my mom. So stuff that is a blind spot to you. And then there's something that's hidden where it's known to you, but not known by others, some secret thing you have in your mind. And then there's the unknown where it's unknown to both of you, both yourself and others. And it's the unknown sectors that make up the shadow. So why would you even bother poking at that? Why not? I was talking to my housemate the other day. She's like, why do I even want to do that and go there and bother and blah, 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 and dig all that up? And I said, well, you don't have to. You never have to. But I recommend if you're triggered now, let's say someone has a relationship pattern of dating someone or loving someone that doesn't love them back or doesn't love them the same way. Maybe it triggers back or goes back to a pattern of something from your family of origin, from your parents, or from an early love affair, or heck, from a past life, some would say. So if you don't lance that boil, it's like an abscess on a cat, or an abscess or a boil. If you don't get into there at some point and just heal it and let it out, you're going to have future triggers. That little thing that happened, or that big thing that happened when you were younger, earlier, that gets triggered by current events. And then you're triggered, and then you're acting out way more than the thing. So let's say you have a problem dating women. Women always dump you, blah, blah, blah. You're an incel, blah, 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 blah. And you're unhappy and you're living in your mom's basement. I'm just riffing. And then you date a girl and she doesn't want to date you. Like, yep, all women just suck. They're all bitches, blah, blah. But it's an overreacting to someone on a date that says, I'm not sure we're a good match. And that's a trigger from an early childhood or early or young adult, something, whatever it is. So here's how to do it. It's a really good idea when you're ready and able and want to, is to just take a peek, just open up and just see. The easiest way to do shadow work is simply to sit down with yourself and just write down with yourself after a moment of quiet about what bothers me today, what hurts, what's annoying me today, and you write it at the top of a page. And then you just begin to journal about it. Well, I hurt because she said this and he's and the money and the thing and the whatever, and that pissed me off and I couldn't go there and that got canceled. I didn't get the promotion and blah, 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 whatever. You write it down and then you journal about it. And then you begin to coach yourself. You get down to like, well, I guess it's due to a fear of whatever, or I'm angry about whatever, or that thing happened when I was 5. But then you begin to coach yourself and go, oh, but this isn't true. I'm a grown adult. I pay my bills. I'm good. I'm dating. I'm out there. I have a nice car in the garage. And you begin to coach yourself, but just to journal out whatever's currently bothering you. And then you kind of stay on short accounts with yourself. But here's a fun way. And this is really what I want to talk about. The shamans taught us this. I learned this in 2014. It's a super fun technique. And it's going to seem weird, but wait, and I'm going to end up with something good. Don't worry. If you want to try this with me, I recommend you get a piece of paper and whatever gender you are, whether it's biological or chosen, whatever gender you resonate with, um, pick 3 people of that same gender that you hate or that you super dislike if you don't hate anybody. I can name my 3. I'm not going to name them right now. I'm going to keep my privacy. I'm going to keep this unknown, hidden. So who I picked, but pick 3 people of your same gender that you hate, dislike severely, and write down 3 things that you dislike or hate about them. And you just jot that down, take a moment and do that. You could pause if you want to do that right now. And then if you're back or you stayed with me, what you do is that you realize that actually you probably figured this out already. That's your shadow. That's you talking to you about you. That is your subconscious letting you know what's going on inside. What you hate about someone else might be a part of what you hate about yourself. Now, it's not to make you feel bad, feel guilty, feel upset, but this does a couple of things. So the shamans taught us to actually then draw that. We had crayons and markers and we drew on a piece of paper what this self looked like. I wrote what I hated about these other people. And I said, yeah, that's me. I do that and do that and do that. Because what happens is the mind does projection. The psyche doesn't want to look at itself and realize that sometimes we're shitty humans. I call myself a shit goddess sometimes. That we're not a shit god or a shit goddess inside, parts of us. And so it just projects outward. But it wants to make you safe. So it's also psychologically in a safe way, suggesting that there's some parts of you to work on. There's parts of you that you don't like about yourself. Now you can continue not to like you can continue not to like stuff about yourselves, but you're free to do that. You're the boss of your life as you wish, but you can also heal it and mitigate it and alleviate it if you like. So if you want to do this, then you're aware of yourself, and then you draw a picture of it. And I suggest someone put it in their wallet and in their purse and just carry it around, this picture of the really awful self. And then just talk to yourself, and you just become aware. And then you can do anything with it. You don't need to do anything with that, but just have the awareness. You don't have to like talk to it, heal it right now. You just go, oh yeah, I think that about myself. I do that. Then you can kind of come honest with yourself. Like, yeah, I do, burp sometimes. And I do, curse at someone sometimes. I gossip sometimes. Yeah, I'm kind of a shit goddess too sometimes. And you just gentle with yourself. You go, yeah. But then what happens is that knowledge comes up and out. It comes to say hello and goodbye. So that pain leaves, and then you'll find yourself much less triggered in future events. So, and that's just a fun idea. So I gave you the idea of just journaling what hurts most in the moment. You can do the 3 people you hate technique, but then you can end with writing down 3 people, same gender, of 3 people you love or really, really like. And then you write down the 3 things you like or love about them. And guess what? That's you also. So you can then, congratulate yourself or enjoy yourself that you are that too. So it's not just the dark people in your life, the bad people, naughty people that are reminding you of your own shittiness. I say that lovingly. It's also the loving, wonderful people in your world are also telling you how wonderful you are. So know that you're a balance of both. And that's part of the shadow too. Part of the shadow, it's not just all bad. Part of our shadow is not loving ourselves enough or understanding how, in fact, wonderful we truly are and how divine we actually truly are inside. So a lot of us, we don't want to look at that either, but it's both true. There's parts of us that we could improve if we want, and there's parts of us that are pretty shitty, and there's parts of us that are pretty wonderful. I kind of said that twice, but you get what I mean. But anyway, give that a try if you like, and let me know in the comments if you tried it or liked it or ever done it before. I think it's super interesting. And then, by the way, if you do that picture and you put it in your wallet or purse, the shaman said that will fall out or get lost or destroyed when it's time to go. It's kind of like having in your wallet or purse is a way to remind you that you're doing the work. Like, oh yeah, that's right. That is part of me. That's okay. But then it gets lost or disappears on its own time. It just leaves or falls apart or disintegrates in your purse. But anyway, thanks for listening today, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.